Warm greetings from IMC, from the Redwood City. And I'm aware that some of you logging on to this YouTube through in the calendar at IMC, or they seem to be not working, some of these links that we have. So you're here, so you found a way to do it. And but we'll try to repair some of these links that we have. So So classically, in certain kind of reputation for Buddhism, it said that there are two wings to Buddhism, compassion and wisdom. And compassion is, usually considered to be an attitude and motivation that we have in relationship to other people who are suffering. And wisdom has many meanings, but one of them is that we become wise about how to monitor ourselves, how to become free of our own greed, hate, and delusion, how to get free of our attachments that interfere with compassion, that interfere with our freedom. And these two work together. They're said to be the two wings of the bird. So meditation's function of meditation is very much having to do this wisdom side, and part of the wisdom is to practice with a focus on oneself, so that one can have a healthy and beneficial focus on the world, on other people. So it's not meant to be selfish or self-centered, to be have an inner focus on oneself. It's a means towards caring for others or caring for the world around us. And one way that this works is that we learn how, by this inner focus of meditation, we learn to find and recognize and support some of the healthy ways or precious ways or peaceful ways that are waiting for us inside. We learn to put to rest some of the forces of distraction, forces of preoccupation, forces of anxiety and aversion and greed, desires, forces of attachment to self-concerns. And so paradoxically, there's a kind of inner focus on oneself that is meant to free us from an unhealthy focus on ourselves, free us from the ways in which we create strong divisions between me, myself, and mine, and the world around us and others as well. But I say this in preparation for this meditation, that there is a very valuable way of taking the time to pause from all the usual activities of the mind that take us away from ourselves, take us away from caring for ourselves in a deep way, and to care, maybe compassionately for ourselves, to find the place where we can sit quietly with peace, with a sense of ease, with a sense of warmth and maybe appreciation of ourselves, or not in conflict with ourselves, a non-conflictive state, resting in our own hearts, resting in our own inner life, not spinning out. And this is not necessarily difficult, but this is not necessarily easy, but it's a well-worth journey. And to know that that's part of the journey, is this inner journey. And with time, as we do this inner journey, to really rest in ourselves and be at ease with ourselves in a deep way, we find ourselves in a certain way turned inside out, ready to be present for the world, ready to be compassionate and caring for the world, ready for a kind of selfless service for the world, that is healthy, because the selflessness comes with a real establishment of a healthy inner life. So to assume your meditation posture, and to gently close your eyes, and to just sit here quietly without doing anything else, and notice how you are right now, with the idea that you're going to allow yourself to be as you are, but being your own good friend who's there for you, there for yourself, to sit with you, to be present, to be a deep listener, not to fix, not to give advice, but a friend who sits with you, allows you to be yourself, and accompanies you as you are. And then to now, in the midst of listening for yourself, being with yourself, maybe from whatever depths within that you can, let a deeper inhale arise, comfortable, fuller, maybe a satisfying deep in-breath, and a relaxing exhale. Breathing in and breathing out, relaxing. And on the exhale, relaxing into yourself, deep inside. And then letting the breathing return to normal. And maybe for the next 3 or 4 exhales, continue to relax and settle on yourself, into yourself. Breathing in and breathing out. And then again, checking in with yourself. Maybe in the depths of your heart, depths of your being, depths of your breathing body. And offer a kind of compassionate care, a compassionate, caring, listening, feeling, sensing what is inside, in such a way that whatever you find inside feels reassured, feels met recognized, known, in such a way it can ease up or relax. There's space around how we are. With each breath, a reassurance to your inner life that it's okay to settle and relax and center yourself here and now within your body, feeling and sensing your way to a place of well-being, even a modest sense of being at ease, being in harmony, being free from conflict, just here, present for yourself as you breathe in and breathe out. No need for the mind to wander off into the past, future, other places. It's profound to be able to be present here for yourself, breathing. Taking the time to feel how you are deep inside, as deep as is easy to feel and know. How are you? And is there a way to recognize and know how you are? That your inside feels cared for. That how you are feels like there's a friendly presence, friendly attention, a loving attention. That how you are is allowed to be. And so relaxes, settles, moves into a place of deeper at-homeness here and now, as it is. So then as we come to the end of this sitting, to check in with yourself again. How are you on the inside? How would you characterize the quality of your inner life, inner state? And is there a way of relating to your inner way of being, how you are, with compassion and care, with friendliness? So no matter how you are deep inside, it feels that you are there to support yourself, to aid whatever is there, to let something settle and relax deep inside. And as you feel a greater care, compassion, well-being within, may that be a foundation for a dedication to support the well-being and happiness of others. May this practice that we do serve for the happiness of others. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings everywhere be free. Thank you. So hello on this Tuesday, second day for our series on compassionate action. And before I start, I want to mention that I also noticed that the link to this YouTube channel in some of the places on IMC is inaccurate. And I'll see what we can do to fix it today. And but if you go to the homepage for IMC's YouTube channel, there's a square there for what's being broadcast live. So that's one way to get to it. And hopefully by tomorrow, the links that will be repaired. So here on the issue of compassionate action. Yesterday's talk was about was focusing on compassionate action for the sake of others. And that is commonly how compassion is understood, that we're caring for others. But equally important is that our compassion for others should also include a care for ourselves, to have action to help and support others for one's own sake as well. That as much as Buddhism might talk about not self and not living from selfishness and self-centeredness, there is an emphasis on really being responsible or caring, monitoring carefully this inner life of our own, and to care for it. That this too is important to have compassion for. This too is important to bring care and friendliness to. And in terms of compassionate action in the world, having compassion for others and acting on that compassion, we should all. So the focus might be on doing things for others, but as we do it, we should also do it for our own sake. And that means two things. One thing it means is don't abandon yourself as you do it. Don't give yourself away. Don't don't easily sacrifice your own well-being and welfare for the sake of supporting and helping other people. It's not necessary. There are sometimes we become uncomfortable, sometimes our comfort level is sacrificed for the well-being of others, sometimes we do sacrifice certain things for others. But don't sacrifice, don't abandon yourself, don't give up on staying connected to the practice for yourself, monitoring yourself, knowing when you get attached, when you are getting stressed, when you get contracted, when you get afraid, when you get overly anxious in what you're doing and override the compassion by despair or dismay or a sense of obligation and fear of consequences if you don't do the action. So the principle that to have compassionate action in the world in a way that also is for your own sake, so that you benefit from it, so that it's a way of caring for yourself simultaneously as it is caring for others. This caring for others and caring for oneself does not need to be two separate things. And many times the idea of compassion is considered to be almost synonymous with being altruistic. And that's often synonymous with a kind of giving up on oneself, abandoning oneself. And sometimes Buddhist teachers will even say that, as I said yesterday, that one of the purposes of being compassionate is for your own happiness and well-being, by giving up on your selfishness or self-centeredness. But that does not mean that you give up on yourself in some deeper way. It means that you don't get attached to self, you don't cling to self, you don't try to lock on to some definition of who we are or who we aren't. But, or to do the compassionate action only for ourselves, in order to make ourselves feel better. We don't really care so much about other people, but rather we care about others, we try to act in ways that support them, and we're doing it in a way that we're not compromising ourselves, we're not adding stress, we're not abandoning ourselves, we're not allowing ourselves to lose touch with our own inner well-being, our own beauty, our inner practice, our place of peace, calm. And one of the reasons not to lose touch with that and stay connected and do it for your own sake is so the compassionate actions that we do in the world are not stressful for us. So we don't succumb to compassion fatigue or overwhelm, so that we don't wound ourselves or hurt ourselves by giving ourselves over to others in a way where we're open and receptive to feel the suffering of the world, but we're not available, we don't know how to experience that suffering in a way that cares for ourselves as well. And so the suffering of the world kind of can, very difficult for our heart. It can break our hearts, it can shatter, it can wound us in certain ways. But if we know how to maintain a place of openness and non-clinging, openness and receptivity, that things are received but they pass right through. We don't hold on to anything or resist anything. Then the compassionate care and contact of suffering in others doesn't have to be challenging for us. In fact, so then we can be compassionate for a long time. We don't get fatigued. We don't get overwhelmed by it. And more important than that is that the quality of compassion, the quality of our relationship to other people, is much higher if people feel that we're at ease, feel that we're peaceful, feel that we are comfortable in our own being. If we're uncomfortable and anxious and dismayed, angry, or upset in some way, and that's the filter through which compassionate action operates in the world, people we're caring for will feel that. Maybe it's not exactly conscious on their part, but they can feel that something's off. It's kind of like by osmosis, or the medium is the message. So if compassion is offered in the medium of anxiety, if compassion is offered in the medium of upset, if it's offered through the medium of a kind of selfish self-concern, or all kinds of, then that medium in which it's done, that actually skews and shapes the kind of action we do and the impact that action has on others. It's very different if people feel us care with spaciousness, with kindness that's open, with non-anxiety, non-upset, non-dismay. That they feel, oh, now I'm with a person who has the ability to be equanimous and present in a full way, and I don't feel like I have to take care of them, or I don't feel like I have to now be nourished, be fed by anxiety, be fed by upset, be fed by self-preoccupation, or whatever it might be. So the quality of the compassion, I think, is much more significant, more valuable, when we act compassionately for our own sake as well. And we have a sense that for our own sake, there's something really here to care for. There's something valuable here within ourselves. Some valuable center, valuable way of being, valuable sense of inner beauty, or inner peace, or inner wisdom, inner goodness. And how do we discover that? One of those ways is, there's many ways, but one of the ways is to meditate and have this inner focus. So we really start tracking and monitoring and working with and discovering, finding deeply what's inside, and settle the inner conflicts, settle the inner resentments and hurts and fears, to really kind of drop down and discover something marvelous within. So that when we, from this kind of wonderful place of ease and peace, we can come forward into the world. So meditation is one way. The other way is through compassionate action for the sake of others. That if we do that in a healthy way, that reinforces this side, this healthy side of ourselves. That mirrors it. That kind of helps us to tap into it, if we're monitoring ourselves and know that we're coming from this place. And then ultimately, there's this wonderful cycle of mutuality, cycle of how caring for others, we care for ourselves. And in this way of caring for ourselves, we end up caring for others as well. And self and others in this way are not separate. It's not like it should be one or the other. They are mutually supportive, until at such a point that the compassionate care, we feel in this marvelous way that there's no difference between self and other for the purposes of our care. Some kind of barrier, some kind of division that many people live in begins to soften. And not that we merge with other people, but that we become kind of, there's a kind of a vast sense of openness that within which caring for others and caring for the self, there's no difference. Just caring for wherever our perceptions, our attention lands. So caring for oneself. So compassionate action for one's own sake. As the next kind of characteristics of compassionate action. Yesterday, the compassionate action for the sake of others, and not that's always is there for compassionate action, and now, including as we do care for others, we also want to care for ourselves, not abandon ourselves, not give ourselves away, so that there's more here in ourselves to be able to offer others. Abandon oneself, there's actually less that we can give. So thank you. And if you're interested in experimenting with this, you might see the situations where you are doing something nice for others and seeing how you can do it in a way that feels satisfying for yourself, that feels like this is a good thing to do, a good way to be in the world. And maybe you do that in small ways. Maybe that's where the best place to experiment, and and then learn from there to the more difficult places. So thank you very much.